The case of Chiara Poggi's murder has been analyzed in every detail. Yet some side episodes continue to emerge as shadowy areas that have fueled discussions and questions for years. Among these, one of the most frequently mentioned concerns the grandmother's house, a residence that, according to various testimonies and journalistic reconstructions, showed sign of a presence during a period when the elderly woman was hospitalized in a care facility. This element, although never becoming a center point of the judicial investigation, has remained in the collective memory as a mystery within the mystery, a fragment that seemed to escape a definitive explanation. To understand the weight of this episode, it must be placed within the broader context of the case's timeline, which over the years has seen a succession of reconstructions, expert analysis, testimonies, and reversals. The grandmother's house is located not far from the Poggi residence, in a quiet area of the town characterized by low houses, gardens, and lightly trafficked streets. When the grandmother was transferred to a care facility for health reasons, the house remained empty, visited only occasionally by relatives for routine checks. It was during this period that some relatives and acquaintances reported noticing movements, lights, or signs of presence inside the house, even though no one was supposed to be there. According to some reconstructions, the door was found in a different position than usual, or some objects appeared moved compared to the previous visit. These details, while not constituting evidence of a break-in, fueled the idea that someone might have access to the house at an unspecified time. The connection with the Poggi case arose from the fact that these episodes reportedly occurred within a time frame close to the days of the murder, creating an aura of suspicion and curiosity. Investigators, however, did not assign this element a decisive role, believing there was no concrete evidence to link it directly to the crime. Nevertheless, the topic resurfaced repeatedly in media discussions, especially in television programs dedicated to unresolved or controversial cases. Many commentators pointed out that an unauthorized presence in an empty house could indicate an attempt to hide something, retrieve an object, or simply use a secluded place. Others interpreted the episode as a marginal detail, perhaps the result of imprecise memories or normal changes in the domestic environment. The family, for its part, was struck by these signs, though unable to assign them a precise meaning. In the context of the GARLASCO case, every element that seemed to deviate from normality was inevitably loaded with a symbolic or investigative value. The grandmother's house, empty and silent, thus became a place that evoked questions rather than answers. Some journalists hypothesized that the presence might be linked to someone who knew the family and their routines well. Others suggested it might be an entirely unrelated episode, perhaps involving a neighbor, a relative, or a simple perceptual mistake. The fact that no concrete evidence ever emerged left the episode in a kind of a narrative limbo, suspended between reality and suggestion. Meanwhile, the main investigation continued along a complex path involving technical analysis, phone records, timeline reconstructions, and conflicting testimonies. The mystery of the grandmother's house remained on the margins, yet continued to be cited as an element that made the overall picture even more enigmatic. In public discussions, the episode was often evoked as an example of those details that, while not having a direct role, contribute to creating a climate of uncertainty. The empty house with its lights that sometimes seemed to turn on, or its objects moved, became a metaphor for an investigation seeking answers in a labyrinth of possibilities. For some, it represented an overlooked clue, for others, mere background noise. Yet, as often happens in cases that deeply affect public opinion, even minor details end up taking on a narrative value that goes beyond their actual relevance. Chiara's grandmother's house, with its unresolved mystery, is one of these details. A fragment that continues to be remembered, cited, and discussed. Not because it offers an answer, but because it represents a question. A question that remains open, like many others in this complex and painful case.